Hello everyone. I'm so happy to have all of you here today. And today's topic of discussion is something really interesting. We are going to talk about breastfeeding and the question that we have, which is going to be addressed in the form of multiple more questions and suggestions. So the topic overall is, can all women breastfeed? Okay. Yeah, and we will be having the people who will be answering this question are two lactation experts. Just a moment, let me just get. Hello, everyone. Am I audible? If I am audible, can someone just give me a wave? Just type in something, maybe even hi.
Hi, I think I don't know, my video is facing the other way around and
Hey,
Hi.
hi.
hi, can you guys hear me?
Hey, Shamla.
Yes,
Yes, we
Shamli,
can
we
hear you.
will hear you, but we would love to see you as well.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the problem is my video is facing the other way and I'm trying to sort it out. Wait a minute. Is it this
Okay,
one?
sure.
Yes. Yeah. Now, yeah,
Hey.
technical issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better now. Hi, Shamla. Welcome. Welcome to this live session. So happy and glad that you could make it. Take out some time from your busy schedule and share that time with us. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much. It's lovely. Like any day, call me for breastfeeding, a session on breastfeeding, and I'd be really, really happy. And you two ladies are lovely and inspirational. So
Same
there's no
here.
way
You
I
know,
would
that's the same thing I'm going to say about both you and Varsha. You are
Yes.
lovely, like really awesome women pioneering in your area of expertise. Hi, Varsha. Welcome.
Hi, am I
Thank you.
audible?
Yes,
Yes, you're
Varsha.
audible
Yes.
and visible, and it looks perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, let us begin. Let us start. We're already a couple of minutes delayed. So, I'll start off by giving a little bit of introduction about Varsha and Shamla. Varsha and Shamla are both lactation consultants. They are actually pioneers in their fields. Um, they are the ones who started, I think they are the ones I can say that started the concept of, consulting for lactation when there were very just maybe handful of women in India who were aware about everything related to breastfeeding. These were the women who were there talking about it, making women aware about all the options that are available to them to make their journey easy. So we cannot be more proud to have both of you together on our session today. It's just a proud moment. Thank you so much, Varsha, and thank you so much, Shamla, for joining us. And Shamla is basically like she lives in Ireland, and Varsha is in Chennai. So I would give the stage to you, Shamla, maybe, and then we can proceed to Varsha. If you want to give a little bit of introduction about yourself, and then we can proceed with the questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the lovely and kind words that you said about me. I'm a mother to two teenagers. It's scary, but yeah, my daughter turns 13 in less than a month. So that's like two teenagers at home. But yeah, I'm a homeschooling mother. And when I had my children, I had very less knowledge about birthing or parenting or breastfeeding or anything. And the knowledge hand down to me was very less as well. I attended a breastfeeding session at the local hospital, which was very minimal, and that was it. And then I had my two babies and I joined a few. Facebook was big in 2010. Sorry. Facebook was big. That is when Facebook started around that time. And I didn't know what Facebook was. But I joined Facebook and I found a group in Ireland at that stage, the Extended Breastfeeding Support Group of Ireland. And that is where I started learning more about it. And that changed my mind on how and what breastfeeding should be. So that, put the first seed in there. And of course, like over the years, I went on to do courses in breastfeeding. It's 5 years since I finished my certified lactation educator and counselor course. And since then, I've done many courses as well, related courses, nutrition, and I do help mothers, pregnant women who go through, like, not just for lactation, even through pregnancy and stuff. So I run the Informed Birthing India group. And like, I'm also big into gentle parenting. It has made a whole world of difference for me. And I think that's something like people should follow as well. So I'll stop here because we have very less time. Marsha, go ahead.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Shamla. Yeah, Varsha, we would also love to hear a few words from you.
Okay. Unlike what Shamla said, even I am a lactation consultant practicing in Chennai. And yes, from next month onwards, I will also be practicing in Tirupati once a month.
Wow.
So I'm expanding. Yes. So once a month, I'll be available even in Tirupati for people there to come and consult directly. Yeah. So basically, I am a mother of, again, a homeschooling child who's just turned 8 last month. And we've been learning a lot of things. I mean, Shamla has been a great guide and a sister from another mother for me, actually, to be very frank. From the time my son was 5 months old, I know her. So she's always been like an elder sister to me, and telling it's okay, Varsha, it will still go on, no worries, he's perfectly fine. So that's how our bonding is. Beyond just the professional bonding, we have a great personal bonding as well. And we also learn from each other a lot, especially with what the cases we deal and we discuss. We have the similar mindset and we deal this in the same pattern. So it makes more difference into the mother's life. And the same steps, I also follow gentle parenting, homeschooling, everything is the same.
Thank you, Varsha.
And I've had a very good, lovely, long, memorable breastfeeding journey as a self experience. And I'm very happy about it and feel proud about being able to do that. So I must say thanks to my son for that. Thank you.
Thank you
I
so
think
much, Varsha, for that lovely introduction. It's just amazing. I'm just repeating it. It's amazing to have both of you with us. I will start off with my first question. So maybe we can take it in rounds. Maybe we can start with Shamla and then we can follow up with Varsha. So my first question is, it's a very basic thing, but let's start with it. What is breastfeeding?
it's a very interesting question, right? We are mammals. Goes back to basic science. We are mammals, and this is how nature intended us to feed our babies. So breastfeeding is basically providing food for your baby using your breast or chest. And if you look at it, all mammals around us, like cows, cats, dogs, like all of them feed their babies. Humans alone have this advantage, or so we think. We feed our breast milk and we also take from cow's milk, goat's milk, and we go beyond the human human feeding years. Like if you look at it, a cow breastfeeds for a certain period of time. Humans wean at a certain stage. We are the only ones who take the breast milk of some other mammal and continue uh, feeding, like, or continue
Consuming.
drinking breast. We borrow breast milk from other mammals as well, but it is basically like what nature intended it to be.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shamla. Do they want to take up the next question?
Yeah. Actually, we had a poll. Can you hear me? Is
Yeah,
my
yeah,
voice
yeah.
audible?
Yeah.
Okay. So we had a poll in our Facebook group asking, can all women breastfeed? And most of them said it's a choice. It's her choice. And there was also another poll asking that if there was no formula, will the mindset be different? And they said the most chosen option was no, cannot imagine without formula milk. Cannot imagine if there was no substitute. So our next question is, can all women breastfeed, and how it has gradually shifted from olden days to now?
See, actually, the thing is, everyone can breastfeed. In fact, we are hearing formula only for the past few decades now. But actually, before, couple of you asked, if we ask our mothers or grandmothers, they would say, "What is all this new thing you're coming up with? This and all was never there in our ages." So, baby used to be born, and we would just breastfeed, and we would even while breastfeeding, we would do all our household chores. We never sat in one place and one corner, cozy corner, nothing was there. You all have all these things, but still you're. So it never existed earlier. It is just a recent times invented. So when these new inventions are coming, I think that is when people start thinking, imagining that we cannot live without this. But when there is a situation where it comes to living without that, if that is having a problem, and that time we would choose breastfeeding. I want Shamala to explain a little detail about this
A question.
as how we do.
It goes more like this, Varsha and Shamla. So there are few women, okay, say maybe like physically every woman is capable of producing breast milk with proper guidance. That is one most important thing because like before giving birth to a baby, I personally feel, and that's what I have observed in working with so many other women in this area, is that if you know what lactation really is, then it will be very, like, I would not say easy, but it would be much more easier than without having the knowledge to breastfeed your baby. Now, second point comes in. So physically, we know that yes, everyone is capable. Only thing is that right guidance is required. But then there are some women who go through a lot of mental issues, okay, during their pregnancy. They may also enter different issues during their postpartum period, and these mental issues kind of like cause a blocker, for breastfeeding their baby. So in this situation, considering like this is the realistic scenario, I would love you guys to answer this question, that can all women breastfeed?
Okay, I'll answer that question for you. Can all women physically breastfeed? Yes. Can transgenders breastfeed? Yes. The physical aspect of it is different. But or most, there are exceptions to every rule. Like, there are medical conditions for which women can't breastfeed. And it does happen. I'm not going to, just be sitting here and saying, no, all women can breastfeed across the board and that's it. No. So women can breastfeed even without getting pregnant. Even virgins can breastfeed. You can induce lactation. So that none of that is a problem, right? But there are certain cases where a woman is not allowed to breastfeed or can't breastfeed. I mean, there are different situations. Like you said, postpartum depression. If somebody is going through that, like Varsha and myself will be the first people to recommend, listen to me, stop there. Right? Varsha, didn't we see a case like that?
We saw that.
Yeah. So
actually, you know what I say, that there are times when the postpartum depression, we've seen, both of us have seen multi levels.
Yeah.
There are levels where we've counseled them, so listen to them. See, it's not about we talking to them. We just need to listen to them. They need someone. We just need to lend our ears to them. First thing. Only if they are under high dosage of medicines, antidepressant tablets, only that time, that is also planned actually. It's not that completely they have to stop breastfeeding. Even that, if they are in contact with a lactation consultant, along with the lactation consultant and their psychologist, we set and plan together to see when the tablet can be taken, how the breastfeeding can be done for them. So in that level also we can work it out. So that we've seen that as well.
And there are cases where there's been sexual abuse before and the mothers don't want to breastfeed. There are multiple levels to your question. Can they breastfeed? Yes. Right. Would they breastfeed? Maybe a no. And the reasons involved could be like, hundreds of different reasons, like, cases of postpartum depression, cases of abuse, like even not necessarily sexual abuse, even physical abuse. There are mothers that don't even want to hold their children because of their fear of hurting the baby, because they were hurt as a baby, right? So there are different levels of abuse that went on for them, which stops them from wanting to hold a baby, feed the baby, don't feel connected. Rape victims, they don't want to feed the baby, and things like that. And the other section of it that you have to see, medical conditions. Somebody who's gone through a breast reduction, like now they are doing the breast reductions in such a way that you can still breastfeed to a certain extent, if not completely. But earlier on, what was done wasn't like that. They didn't consider that. So if you had done a breast reduction earlier on, and depends on who did it and where it was done, you couldn't breastfeed. HIV, you can still breastfeed. Hepatitis B, you can still breastfeed, provided the nipples are not bleeding. Because if your nipples are bleeding through blood, the transmission happens. So you have to be very careful about that. There
And
are
HIV, they are supposed to be on medication
medication.
without missing even one single dose of it.
Yes, that is
And
important.
and they are supposed, they can breastfeed only for 1 year, not beyond that. That would be a limited restrictions for them.
So, I hope I've answered your question. As I said, can they breastfeed? Most of them can. Will they breastfeed? That is their choice. And why they don't want to breastfeed could be for like multiple reasons. And yes, there are medical reasons why a person can't breastfeed, like tubular breast. If you have tubular breast, they can't breastfeed because the supply is not going to be there. So that happens as well. So, yeah, I hope you've got the answer to your question.
Answered more than what we expected. So you just opened up so many new perspectives for people to think over. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it
even
was so
while
beautiful.
undergoing chemotherapy, also they cannot breastfeed.
Yes, Varsha's right. While undergoing chemotherapy, they cannot breastfeed, but it doesn't mean they have to stop breastfeeding. They can pump and dump, and after the chemotherapy, the treatment is finished, they can continue to feed if they want. They have that choice. But during chemo, like for cancer, there are different things like radiation. You can't feed for a certain period of time. Chemo, you can't feed for the entire duration when you're having chemo. Thanks, Varsha, for reminding that. Yes, that is there.
Thank you. Yeah, do they want to take up the next question?
Yeah. How is the lactation process hampered? We saw that, yes, we know that everybody can, but yes, who cannot? There is a reason behind it. But how is it hampered? Most of the times, healthy women, can lactate as per what you are saying. But there are chances that, they feel that their milk production is, hampered. They feel, I mean, God, don't know what happens. So, yeah.
Varsha, you want to take it?
Okay, I'll take it. See, I'll tell you what happens. Baby is there inside the womb. Is baby exposed to the fabric that we wear outside? No. But the moment baby comes out, baby is neatly dressed. I know it's nice to go do baby shopping, buy lovely, colorful, nice, soft fabric dresses, everything is okay. And the mothers go out for shopping, buying those zipped feeding gowns with all nice fabric, design, stylish, everything is okay. But when baby is inside the womb, baby did not know all these things. Baby only knew the skin warmth, skin touch, and the natural aroma. But the baby is initially deprived of these three. This is where the problem's root cause begins.
Okay.
This root is then grown into a plant by, uh, you know, uh, probably I can say that pinpointing on the anatomy. Saying that, oh, you have a big breast, you can't feed. You have a very small breast, you can't carry milk in this. You have a very small nipple. You don't even have a nipple. You have an inverted nipple. The list goes on. Let me tell you, nipple, no matter what shape or what size it is, nipple goes inside the baby's mouth. So even if it is inverted, flat, that does not hamper breastfeeding, but the only thing what they need is a proper guidance from the beginning on how to hold the baby. If we are correct with our basics, breastfeeding is never never ever going to be a problem. But we need to be correct with our basics. So this is next level. And the next, what happens if the nipple is flat or inverted? What is done? Their introduction of inverted syringe method or nipple pullers that's available in the market, or that breast shield, nipple shields, everything is introduced. All these things is a next level confusion. And after this comes, what happens is when there is a nipple shield or something like that, it makes breastfeeding difficult. So when the mother is not able to feed properly, the baby's weight gain is not correct, because she is not able to hold the baby and give completely what she is making. She is making good milk, but it is not transferred to the baby in a right manner. So there is loss in weight. What happens? Oh, baby's weight loss is there, then probably our supply is low. So we'll top up with formula. Formula, initially they'll start giving with spoon, syringe and everything. Then what happens? The family members say, oh my God, we are spending 700, 800 rupees on one dabba and so much spillage is happening. No, we can't waste so much. And how much? It takes so long to feed the baby. I have to go work in the kitchen. I have to go do that. I have to go to office. I have to pack lunch. Everything comes. No, I can't do all these things. I can't handle baby and this one. It's so much spillage and it's get dirty. We'll give bottle. Then the bottle comes in. Once the bottle enters, believe me, breastfeeding is a major challenge.
Yeah, so basically, like, as I understood from you, Varsha, breastfeeding is all about demand and supply. So when you stop feeding the baby from your breast, your supply is definitely going to reduce. And that is one of the major reasons that I see that most people suffer, like, in feeding their baby, even if they want to. I just want to add something out of my personal experience. I was very bad initially, as in I did not really get the knowledge about lactation before I gave birth to my baby. That's why I think I'm so enraged to spread that information among women.
For 1 minute.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting, but please don't use a word that you are very bad. You are not bad.
Nobody is bad. Yeah.
Nobody is bad.
Was.
No, was also.
No,
the was also is not there.
Let's take it offline, okay? I'll come back to my point. So, this message is to all the women who are currently watching this session or who will be watching this in future. Strongly, each one of us, the 4 of us who are present here, we strongly suggest that get knowledge about lactation before giving birth to the child. It's very, 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 very important. You may say that your mother did not attend a lactation class, your grandmother did not attend a lactation class. Why didn't attend? Is because they had a full-time person with them who stayed with them, who taught the right position, who helped them in every possible way. But today, the kind of lifestyle that we are living, we live in nuclear families. We really do not have any form of help. Leave aside somebody coming and staying with us 24/7. Nobody is around. Okay, so once you deliver the baby, the hospital's job is done, and then you're left all by yourself. If you know what exactly happens in lactation, all the different things that Varsha said, you can really make a huge impact in your breastfeeding journey by knowing, you will be mentally prepared for all the things that are about to come. You may face issues or you may not face issues. Even if you face issue, you will already have a lactation consultant there with you, who's ready to help you, because she will have walked through you during that journey and she will know exactly what to suggest you. So there will be no overwhelming, no holding of bottles, formula milk or any kind of gadgets mentioned by Varsha. So I personally strongly suggest every woman, okay, if you're watching this, and you really want to take up, understand lactation, ping us. We can connect you to Varsha. We can connect you to Shamla. Okay, they are available for online consultations. You can just give them a call, book the consultation with them, have a consultation with them. If at all you want to have a one-on-one, if you are at their locations, you can do that. If you want to consult someone else, please do. But please do consult somebody before you give birth to a baby.
Yeah, I need to add to this. Yes, you asked what hampers breastfeeding. I'll start from the beginning, right? Like what you said, gaining knowledge. With our grandparents, it was joint family system. Somebody was birthing and feeding constantly. So you grew up seeing that. right? So you didn't need a class, you didn't need a session. You knew it, it was natural. There was no hospital system. People were birthing at home. So you had immediate skin to skin. The baby was latched on immediately. All that we are, pushing down everybody's throat now. Like, when somebody says they're going into like 36 weeks, I go, immediate skin to skin, immediate breastfeeding. Like, I keep, it is like hitting the nail on the head repeatedly. So all that happened naturally then. So the change, the hospital system, now we are like, 300 years into all that. We are going back. We are like, that's how the natural birthing centers are popping up left, right, and center now, because we need someone to tell us. Like my doctor told me, pregnancy is not a disease, right? Unlike how people in like around you would say, no, don't move, don't walk, don't do this, don't do that. Pregnancy is not a disease. And the current generation thinks, oh, you're pregnant, you can't do this, you can't do that, which didn't happen earlier on. So a lot of things came naturally. We don't have that natural instinct. The hospitals hamper, because the hospital is going to, like, if you have a fantastic doctor, a gyne and a pediatrician support, that's fantastic. But what happens is a lot of times they are in a hurry, they are paid by formula companies, they don't have the time, they're they're birthing like 10 babies a day. They're just going, okay, you have a problem, I'll get the nurse to deal with it. The nurse has their own thing. Like the nurse is looking at 10 babies a day are delivered, they are looking at 20 babies in the hospital at any point in time. They don't have the time. So that is your second stage. And of course, like you said, if you don't have the information, like if you have the information, you know it, it's fine. If you don't have the information, you don't know, you think pain is natural. People tell you pain is natural. And if you think that and you're biting your teeth, you're feeding every time, do you think it's sustainable in the long run? No. You're not going to feed more than 10 days, more than a month. Or somebody might say, oh, it's paining, I'll give you a nipple shield. If baby is crying, pop a pacifier is the right word. I keep calling it boppy. Pacifier. Put a pacifier in the mouth. And the people around you, if they are not knowledgeable enough, what happens is somebody tells, oh, your baby is constantly crying in the evenings, without knowing that is the norm. So what happens is you're going, okay, then maybe my supply is low. So if you don't have the support system, so it is not just one thing that hampers, right? So it starts from somewhere and it goes down the lane. It is like, and then even if you are confident, if you don't have the support of your doctors, your nurses, your family, your friends, you're going to give in and say, maybe I really don't produce enough. So, you're going to stop feeding. You're going to start the very first sip of formula your baby takes. That's it. There's no going back.
In fact, like, there may be people who are like, counter advising you, saying that your baby is crying, it means your supply is low. That is the first thing you hear.
Yeah.
I heard it. Okay. So you are also going to hear it from someone like within your family, a very close, maybe the person who came with you with your delivery and like staying with you. So that person will definitely tell you, baby is crying, she's so hungry. Oh, your milk supply is not enough for the baby. You feed top up. That is the thing. Shamla, one question to you connecting to this one. Sorry, Vidya, to interrupt in your question line. In one sentence, what is the solution to this problem that you just stated?
You said the answer already. Knowledge. You a mother, like, forget just breastfeeding. Anything in life, right? If you always do the best, we all do the best that we can based on what information we have at that point in time. Right? None of us want to do bad for our kids. Not even the grandparents, not even the people that advise us. They don't want anything bad, but they think they are providing you the best knowledge because that is the information they have. So it is very important to gain your knowledge.
I just want to clap on that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
I was this close to giving formula to my daughter,
I gave once, my baby refused, and that was he did not want to take it. So,
I
I was
had a
forced
similar
to
feeling.
like continue because I had this constant societal pressure, like people telling me your milk is not enough, your milk is not. I keep
Yeah.
listening to it, I gave it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's continue. We moving on to
Yeah.
the next question. We are already
Yeah.
delayed.
Yeah. I think next question you can answer. I mean, ask. Sorry.
Okay. Uh, okay. So the question is
Before
that
trying.
if there was no option of formula, do you think, before asking this question, I'm not against formula or I am not pro breast milk. What I really feel, my personal thing, okay, Shamla and Varsha, y'all can differ from what I have to say. What I personally feel is that the mother's health, both physical and mental health, is the most important thing
Of
as
course.
per me, because if the mother is fine, that is the best gift that baby can ever have in his or her life. Okay, now after stating this, my next question is, if there was no option at all of formula did not exist in this world. In fact, like right now there's a shortage of formula going on in
Exactly.
US.
Yeah.
Okay, so if formula did not exist at all, then do you think that breastfeeding would have been encouraged and accepted in a better way? There are a lot of things actually going on in terms of people are coming up encouraging breastfeeding, feeding in public, all these things are going on. But if formula was completely missing, what is your opinion, Varsha?
Yeah, also adding on to that, even donating breast milk. I mean, earlier I think, since it was a joint family, anyone would have just whoever is feeding would take the baby and feed. It
Yeah.
was okay for them, but now it is not that okay. So yeah.
No, that reminds me
I
of a
want Shamla
situation.
to start off with this one, and then later I'll add my points.
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah.
Varsha. My answer is, see, if formula didn't exist. 100 years ago, formula didn't exist. People, like you said, somebody would lift the baby and feed. And I was in a situation, I'm not, because it's a public forum, I'm not going to say who, what, where. I was still feeding my older baby, and the mother had left the baby, at this place that I was and gone out for a few minutes, and the baby started crying. I was tempted to lift the baby and latch the baby on.
Okay.
Um, and I was looking at everybody around me going, I would do it. The baby would feed, the baby would calm down. What
Yeah.
would be the reaction of the people around me? And would the mother accept it?
Right.
Because the thoughts have changed, the thought process have changed. Even though this mother is very close to me, she's an absolutely lovely person. I can't complain about any of that. But all those thoughts came into my head only because things have changed, right?
Right.
If say this was 40 years ago, I don't think somebody would have hesitated to lift the baby and feed the baby,
Right.
right? People wouldn't have thought of formula. People wouldn't have thought of anything different. I still remember my mother telling me, the grandmother in that house, she fed her own son till like 6 years or 7 years, till they went, like, they didn't go to school till 5 and 6 those days. So she fed her own son till whatever age, and then she would feed pretty much every single child on the street. And it was like, wow. So there was no need for formula. And the formula didn't exist. Even the problems we are talking about now, see, because formula, the option of formula is there, what happens? US, they're facing a huge shortage. And formula has been sent from Ireland to US because of this. So babies are struggling, mothers are struggling. They're trying to give cows milk, because of which the baby's health is going to get affected. They're affected physically, mentally, financially, in each and every way that you can think of, right? But people don't realize that if somebody was breastfeeding, it would have been as easy as putting the baby to breast. So there's, formula has changed so much. Now, all of a sudden, I feel, even I'm totally against all these NGOs sending formula bottles to, or boxes of formula to lower income countries, because you will provide them the first few boxes, which will
Right.
stop breastfeeding. And breastfeeding, once stopped, cannot get back without so much of trouble. By then, the baby is used to formula, the baby's health gets hampered. So formula does change, 100% changes. Like if you look at it, I volunteer for different organizations, and I know when the rains, like Chennai rains hit or Kerala rains hit, what is the first demand that comes through? Formula.
Okay.
And this didn't happen. This didn't happen a few decades ago. People weren't, looking for formula. If there was a problem, like if it was raining heavily, there's floods, people were worried about other things, not what a baby would be fed. So formula has completely changed a lot of things. Yeah. Marsha, go on. Add your points.
See, okay. As you've already told these things, see, what I would say is like, they can think it in another way round. What happens when there is a flood? There is no proper fresh water for them. So there is water contamination. You need, and what happens in the middle of the night? The baby starts crying like crazy. So it is more easy to just pull up the top and pop out the breast and feed the baby rather than running to the kitchen, measuring the scoop, measuring the water, checking the temperature, mixing so that there's no lumps, blah blah blah, and checking if the bottle is sterilized, the nipple is sterilized, is everything clean, and then the cleaning process, the mixing process, all these things is cut down when the baby is directly breastfed.
But
So I think the best part would be is if the formula did not exist, if the mother had the knowledge of breastfeeding, I'm damn sure they would choose breastfeeding
That's the easy
because
option,
it's
actually.
clear. Huh?
It's the easy option. As for me, it's the easy
yeah,
option.
Absolutely. See, I'll tell you one thing. Personal experience. My son was around 1.5 year old, and I was traveling on a long distance in my bike with my husband. I'm an avid baby wearer. I wore my son for 4.5 years.
Okay.
In all varieties of carrier I've tried. So I wore my son, and I was sitting behind my husband. In two-wheeler, we were driving. And at one point of time, my son started crying for hunger, and it was so easy. I just had to loosen the wrap and then breastfeed. And there were buses passing around, there were cars, lorries, everything. Happily, he was breastfed. No one even knew about it. It was so easy. If the baby had formula fed, then we had to stop by somewhere, mix everything, everything would have been there. So the end solution from my side is, if formula did not exist, and if the mother or the family had the right knowledge of this, they would take this as an opportunity to give up on formula and restart breastfeeding.
I just want to add one more point here. When formula didn't exist, people didn't have a problem breastfeeding wherever they were.
Yes.
If you look about it, like it wasn't a taboo. It wasn't a taboo feeding a 5-year-old child. Like my mother said, the uncle who was breastfed till like 7 years, he's 85 now. And very healthy, super healthy, and he does his own thing. He travels around all over the country. He's fantastic in fantastic health. No diabetes, no BP, whatever. Like he was breastfed till 7, and they didn't have a problem telling the world that I'm breastfeeding I'm told they'd sit outside on, I don't know what you call it. In Tamil, we call it Tinnai. Tinnai is the space outside the house, right? They would sit outside on that and lash a 7-year-old on while chatting with others.
Yeah.
It didn't appear.
Nursing in public was also common those days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Till formula came, you didn't have to fight for your nurse in public issues because you just did that, and that was natural. After formula came, now you need to look for breastfeeding spaces. I was listening to somebody's lecture the other day, and she was saying, "Oh, I saw this fantastic nursing room in Ernakulam station," and I'm like, what's the big deal about it? You didn't have that. You're not going to fight for a nursing space. You have to fight for the right of a woman to feed wherever she is at whatever time she wants to feed the baby. So that I think is important, and formula has changed that landscape forever for people, because it's okay to feed a bottle to a baby anywhere you want, but you cannot breastfeed in public because it's shamed. And that has happened only after formula entered.
Thank you. Thank you for that lovely insight.
There is one small point I want to add in this. When babies are fed beyond 1 year or 2 year nowadays, okay, especially if it comes to boy babies, they say, oh, they will say everything, stop feeding.
I've
But believe
started
me,
doing that, you know. I'm getting all that from everyone, from every person, like you know, women, not men. Men obviously don't have any say in that area, thankfully. But women, or every woman I'm meeting, like you know, I'm getting the same advice. Friends, family, everyone.
but believe me, you know what I say? For every woman who is breastfeeding their child beyond 1 year, I say, please don't stop breastfeeding on your own. Let the child self-feed. Even if the baby is seeing the breast, understanding the breast, the memory that goes inside the brain is, oh, breast is meant to get milk from mama. So tomorrow when he sees another girl who's going to get breast after she attains puberty in his own class, or girlfriend or lover or wife, daughter, whatever it is, the respect towards the womanhood would be on a higher level. So extended breastfeeding, especially for a male child, is going to improve the society. And you know this, there is no perverts that we are growing. We are only growing gentlemen. We are giving gentlemen to the society. Feel proud about breastfeeding a boy baby beyond 1 year.
Thank you so much for that, Varsha. That I think was really required and called a fantastic point of view. Thank you so much. The next question, yeah, we.
I just want to add. Oh, I forgot actually. You asked. She told the point and I completely. No, that's fine. You ask. I'll remember. I'll
Yeah, I
reconnect.
was just saying that we're already out of time. The next question that we have has already been answered. I'll just repeat the question. So it's the question is that does breastfeeding need preparation during pregnancy? The answer is yes, as has already been answered by Varsha and Shamla. Does the mind play more important role than the body? That also we have addressed in the session. The last question that we have, I'll just hold it on for a couple of minutes because we have people pouring in a lot of questions. Okay, I've just like you know kind of like you know grouped them and created like you know kind of I created groups because there were many questions which came in. I'll just ask you the questions and you can address them. I would not be saying the person's name because you know I've just grouped the questions, yeah, and everyone should hopefully get their answers. If in case you feel there's anything more that you want to ask us, you can always send us a message and we can redirect you to Varsha and Shabla. Okay, so I'll be reading the question. These are the questions from users. What is the effect of diet or nutrition on breastfeeding?
Varsha, you want to take it or will I go?
Okay. See, basically what happens, whatever the mother takes in, no, the nutrient value goes to the baby. Okay. So what happens now here, there is one very important point I want to address. Mothers can eat anything they like. There is no food restrictions as long as they don't have any specific medical conditions or allergies. If they have that, they can avoid it. But apart from that, I would really strongly recommend mothers not drinking beyond 200 ml of milk in 24 hours. And if they are on a regular diet with, you know, adding all the kind of flavors in their food, please avoid taking too much garlics. Maybe 1 or 2 pods a day is perfectly fine. No garlic milk, no extra garlic, garlic toast, nothing. Why? Because
they give garlic rice. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. The reason is very simple. Milk, the milk that we spoke first earlier, it is again a cow's milk. That cow's milk is for its calf. The composition and the nutrients that is there in that is it's for its calf. One small example is the calf gets up and starts walking and running within 1.5 hour of its birth. Whereas human babies take 8 to 11 months to even, you know, stand and start giving one baby steps. So this is one general, you know, comparison that I'm saying. So please avoid drinking regular milk. If you're going on a rice milk, ragi milk or a nut milk, that it's up to, if they're used to that.
So sorry to interrupt. Before proceeding with your answer, so you are saying that diet and nutrition does impact breast milk supply, right? Production.
To some extent.
Okay.
So Yeah. So
Yeah,
what happens is why I know why Varsha said garlic, because a lot of people have enough supply. See, as much as low supply does affect people, oversupply affects people as well. Give them garlic, their supply is going to increase. The result is that there'll be oversupply, the baby might not able to latch on, that creates problem, the issues.
and it will lead to mastitis, and mastitis not treated properly will lead to abscess. Abscess is again a major hamper in
Yes.
breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in general, see, most people can eat whatever they want while breastfeeding. It's not a problem at all. Uh, do anything in moderation is the general rule. If you're going to eat Maggie 3 times a day for 3 months, it's not going to work. But at the same time, drink water to thirst, because I do know, like a friend of mine, when she had her baby, she said, "Oh, thank God I'm not in India because my parents would have stopped me from drinking water." So drink to thirst, eat to hunger, eat healthy. Because see, what happens is when you're breastfeeding, whatever nutrients that the baby wants, the baby gets from breast milk,
Right.
which drains your own nutrition. So you need to eat to take care of yourself as well. So eat a varied diet, well balanced diet. Make sure you get your iron, your vitamins, your water soluble vitamins, your fat soluble vitamins, your minerals. Make sure that you get a wide variety of what you're eating. And baby gets everything as well. So that bit is important. Okay, you want to eat, people ask, can we eat mango? Can we eat watermelon? Can we eat Maggie? Yes, you can for the odd time. Like, I mean, I used to eat, like, can we eat bitter gourd? Yes, you can. I've had bitter gourd. Like, I breastfed my babies for 6.5 years totally. And if I had to go on a restricted diet for the entire duration of breastfeeding, I would have given up in like 2 days. I'm a foodie, so I can't. So you eat what you want, but don't go on binge eating of something. Actually, the binge eating comes only when there's a restriction. If you're told like eat biryani today, like everybody else is having biryani, have 2 spoons and you're done, you're fine. Doesn't matter.
Right.
So definitely, sometimes a child might, like, in the initial stages, a mother might eat spinach or something and the baby might be gassy. So keep an eye on that. Some babies react differently to dairy. Some babies react differently to certain things. Keep an eye. If the baby is reacting, then reduce it, cut it down and see if it helps. But otherwise, in general, they're okay to take. For their own health, keep it healthy and varied.
Thank you so much, Varsha and Shamna. Moving on to my next question. This question also we have answered in the session. I'll just repeat the question. Like if someone is using like say bottle to feed the baby now, bottle to feed can be either pumped breast milk or formula. And if you have to pump the breast milk, you may be even using breast pump and other accessories that go with it. So, like these things in place, do they affect or specifically reduce the breast milk production or supply?
Varsha, go
Yes,
on.
it does to some extent because see, what happens almost on a daily basis, I'm seeing the cases like this. See, what happens is the pump that they use matters a lot.
Okay.
What kind of pump they are using? See, I generally wouldn't recommend mothers to use pump until and unless they have to leave the baby under someone else, care and go out for more than 3 hours. Only in that case they can express and go. That too, I would suggest if it's just 3 hours you are coming back, then please hand express and go. Only if they're joining back to work, then I would suggest invest on a proper hospital grade breast pump.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is very important. It confuses the body clock.
See,
Okay.
when
The
a
breast pump confuses the body clock.
See, when a baby is breastfeeding, the breastfeeding action is different from how a pump works, first thing. And when a baby breastfeeds, there are times when the baby might feed every 10 minutes. There are times when baby won't feed for 4 hours. But the baby might empty the breast. Each time it is different. It is not like if you are pumping, if you're only pumping, that is a different story. I know, like, we know a few exclusively pumping moms for whatever reason they are doing, and that is fantastic. I wouldn't say that's wrong. But some cases where, you're doing it, you need to be consistent. There are things that you need to follow. You know, if it doesn't, what happens is, oh, I kept breast pumping, and then like I didn't pump for the mid afternoon, whatever, for 4 days. Now will I start pumping? Your supply is already hampered.
Okay.
Especially we don't recommend pumping for the first 6 weeks because it takes that much time for your supply to stabilize. It could lead to overproduction. That could lead to other problems. So usually, like, pumping is something, it would be on a case-by-case basis, on a need-by-need basis. If you need it, if you need to go to work in, say, 3 months' time or 6 weeks' time or whatever, then we'll see what to do
And
about
plus,
it.
very important point, most of them are getting into the trap of getting double electric pump at a very low cost, and they go for that.
Yeah.
That they have to see one thing, is the pump hospital grade breast pump. Only then go for double electric breast pump, because there is one particular brand which is being drastically promoted, but that has that has made a lot of mothers supply drastically low.
Look,
Only that one brand has created this much problem. Every
actually,
other person who comes to me telling with this problem, they are using that brand.
Yeah, I can understand that you're not naming that brand, Varsha. I don't want you to name as well. But if, like, are you in a position to suggest any brands which people can opt for or do a.
Yes, they can. That I can do. Spectra S1 and S2 and Dual S. Spectra brand has these three models, that is double electric hospital grade breast pumps. So among these three, they can choose whichever suits their pocket. The only difference between this is S1 and S2. One is only electric, the other one is battery operated, and Dual S is both the pumps will have equal capacity of suction at the same time. That's all.
Okay, I just want to add one more point there. If we have people watching from the US, a lot of Indians, like in US, say, "Oh yeah, my insurance provides me a free breast pump, and can I get this?" My recommendation to them would be, unless and until you're a working mom and you need breast pump, don't go for it just because you get it for free. Because once you have it, you'll go fidget around it, start using it. It might go the other way, like hamper your breastfeeding journey rather than help it. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'll add on one more point for this. If you are using a breast pump, pumped milk, please donate it. Directly breastfeed the baby, pumped milk, donate it. So at least you're enjoying your own motherhood and you're sharing your breast milk for another sick baby out there.
That's a very
that is going to be very useful.
Varsha.
Actually, you remind, yeah, you kind of,
Yeah. Please continue. I'll not stop you now. You'll forget again. Please continue.
yeah, I remember that question. So instead of formula, if breast milk donation was marketed, it would have been better, right?
Before you'll answer the question, I just want to say one thing. We have just 5 minutes left because I started the session at 6:15 and 7:15. Instagram is going to automatically end it.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Quickly we'll answer. One thing.
Vidya. Yeah.
See, actually the thing is they can do. Yes, donation drives has been going on, and there are so many mothers who are actually traveling, and when they are traveling and they are away from their babies, they are bringing their stash, they are creating a stash, they are leaving it behind, and they are going. I was contacted by a mother from US. She had about five packets or 10 packets of breast milk with her. So she said, I'm bringing that and I'm there for 1 week, so I want to donate. I connected her to a milk bank, and she left all her milk around here, and once she went back, she started breastfeeding her baby. So this is possible, and I've been a breast milk donor myself for almost 1.5 to 2 years. I've been a breast milk donor. So I pumped only to donate. I never pumped to give it to my son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you so much. Before ending the session, we have like another 3 minutes left. So my last question for this session, obviously I have many more questions for both Varsha, you and Shamla. And since our discussion went for like double the time it was anticipated, I think we should go like get together for another session because we have so many questions from people which are still unanswered. Okay, maybe we can group those questions together and we can have another session at your available time. So,
We'll do it as version 2.
yeah,
Yes.
We'll do it as version 2.
yes, we
Yeah.
can do
Yes.
that. Yeah. Okay, so the last question that I have is what is your advice or suggestion to pregnant women?
Shamala.
So,
I
like as we
to
said,
answer it because both of
yeah,
you have differing opinions.
Yeah. Let
yeah.
her start first, then I'll end.
No,
Okay.
no, like I have only one thing to say. Attend breastfeeding classes, you know, gain your knowledge, read the right books, talk to the right people, and then learn to ignore everything else.
You
That's all I'd say. Varsha can add to it.
yeah.
See, right knowledge, right time, and trust your body. That is very, very important. Remember one thing: when a woman who has never given birth can breastfeed, when you have given birth to your baby, obviously you are the best person to breastfeed the baby. So trust your body. Don't lend your ears to unnecessary discussions. Lend your ears only when you are when your mind says that this is the right information you want. Only then lend your ears. Otherwise, please shut your ears, but keep calm. That's all.
Lovely advice. Thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah.
so much,
So
Varsha
good.
and
Yeah.
Shamna.
Thank you,
Thank
ladies.
True.
you.
Yeah, you want to say something?
No, session was so good. That's
Yeah,
it.
it was lovely. I didn't even realize how the 1 hour has passed away. Thank you so much. It was
Yeah.
just lovely, lovely, lovely. And people are so interested. I can see that there are a lot of questions which also popped up during our session. Okay, so just I want to tell the people who commented, during our session. Unfortunately, I will not be able to get back your messages. I will be able to get to the questions which people have posted on the story. But whatever y'all commented over here, I'm sure there were a lot of questions from people. Please, please, please send us a message, okay? And we will get back to you, okay? We can get in touch with Varsha and Shamla and we can answer it, or maybe we can arrange for another session, whatever suits. Most probably, we will get you all the answers over DM itself. So please send your messages to me again. Just message in the messenger. Okay, that should be fine. And thank you so much, Shamla and Varsha. It was a very intriguing and like I would say that value driven session. I'm sure all the women who have watched it and who are going to watch it are going to immensely benefit from it. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here
you
today.
so much. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.